Hello, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. Well, we are seeing a gold and silver creep up and a pretty big jump today for gold and silver prices. Quite fascinating indeed to see them go up, and this time it's pretty a classic case of having to do with the dollar index and of course emotion and psychology. And I'm sure the volatility index is at play here, but we're not going to really talk about the volatility index. We're going to talk about the main reason why gold went up today, and that is because of the dollar index. This particular article here from Market Watch talks a little bit about it, how it was watched $1,300 an ounce mark on Monday, and it marked the highest finish in 11 months. And because the U.S. dollar fell to its lowest level since early 2015. And here we can see a chart on the dollar index here. And it's quite fascinating to see how it's dropping here. And so what that means, essentially, this measure of the dollar index means that the dollar is worth less today than it was some time ago. And this sort of bolsters the claim that I made in a previous video recently posted about why gold and silver are not investments, because they are money. And of course, money is going to react to other money or to currencies. And that's what you're seeing here with the dollar index. So it's not that gold went up really in value. It maintained its value, it just went up in price because it takes more dollars to show its worth. And of course, many of us believe that gold is undervalued and silver is undervalued, and especially when you look at the ratios and the like, but there's different reasons, and that's really a subject of another video. But nonetheless, we can see that in most cases the price of gold is tied to the dollar index there. And the article here talks about how the moves for the gold and the greenback, which often trade inversely as changes in the U.S. unit's value, can influence the attractiveness of gold to holders of other currencies. And it really came on the heels of a speech by Janet Yellen last week, devoid of clues of the central bank's near-term monetary policy intentions. Some say there's going to be some tightening in the markets, monetary policy. So quantitative tightening could be around the corner. And so we shall see what happens with all of that, but nonetheless, it had an effect. There's a lot of psychology at play, and it does have to do with the dollar index there, which means, and it bolsters the point again, that gold and silver are not investments because they're tied so close. And but nonetheless, it sort of goes without saying that there's all sorts of different factors and effects that can happen with precious metals, and it does not mean that one cannot find creative ways to make money off of precious metals. And there will be a video about that, hopefully in the near future. But and again, people can purchase these precious metals, and if they time their purchases correctly, they can make money on them in the physical. But to me, that does not necessarily equate to the classical form of investing, and so to speak. And I think that's the classic case of the classic mistake people make when they put their money into physical precious metals, is they think, well, hey, I'm going to make money on these. You hold them long enough, I think you'll maintain their value. But if you wait for the short term and time them correctly, yes, you can make money, and you can lose money. I lost money on precious metals. But the thing is, as long as you hold the metals, you haven't lost anything until you actually sell. And that's the thing to think about. It's just that the gold and silver are so unique in their properties that have been tested for literally thousands of years, and used as money for thousands of years. And to me, that's why they are not the classical investment, so to speak. But nonetheless, it's encouraging. To me, this bolsters the case that gold and silver are safe havens in times of economic uncertainty, or just different psychological aspects that come into play in this. But post your thoughts below about today's actions with the price of gold going up. Do you think it will continue to climb? I'm of the belief that I think by the end of the year it'll be at least $13.50 for gold, and I think we'll see silver climb up just above $20. But that's just a guess. Post your thoughts below. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to y'all for watching. Encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.